Hello, guys. Today is Friday, and we, as usual, at this time start the MSI weekly demo meeting. And today we will share with you an update regarding our regression status, how many test cases we passed during this week, how many issues we found. And how many issues we fixed. And also Ricardo will share some ideas, and he is currently working on inventory configuration story, the pretty big one. And along, he will share his status, and also he will share the idea of introducing new source selection algorithm based on the geo-remoteness and the geocoding and remoteness of destination address from sources used to fulfill the order. So let's start from our current status, current regression status, and Slava will show you our update.
Hello everyone. Probably I will share my screen. It is here our HIP test MSI project, and as you may see, we have a test run called Milestone 2 Regression Cycle. At the moment, we have from 469 test scenario, we covered, I think, 2/3 of it, and we have 281 scenarios passed, 13 are failed, 9 still in progress, and we have 2 blocked by Magento bug, and 9 are skipped because of we have some scenario dedicated to behavior of bundle product on test source, what is not implemented yet. It's gonna be fixed, sort of say, in milestone 3. And as I already said, that we have 13 test scenario failed, and I will now go to GitHub, and here we have our tickets dedicated to bugs, what we discover during this regression. We have label regression milestone 2. It's bugs, first of all, we started with low stock reports, and as I know already, Alessandro is working on these issues. We have several bugs, what is concern web API, and also we have problem with grouped product when it's have out of stock status. I think maybe it's cache validation problem, and only X left threshold. It's also have some problems there. And yeah, and wrong calculation when we have credit memo. We have two issues dedicated to it. As you already know, we are testing on MSI version plus Magento Commerce plus B2B. We started locally, but now cloud is working fine, and we're testing on US Magento Cloud instances. I think that's all from me for today.
Okay, thank you, Slava. So regarding, yeah, so as Slava mentioned, we started our regression on a local environment because we had a blocker on cloud, and actually we had two blockers on cloud. The first one was regarding the permission, database permission, which we fixed pretty quickly, and after that another blocker because on our cloud we actually test Magento 2.3.0 package, which includes enterprise B2B plus different bundle extensions, including .mailer, for example. And there was an actually issue between MSI and .mailer that both extension actually conflicting each other, and we managed to fix this issue 2 days before, and now that gave us an opportunity to bundle new composer package. And there is a pretty good update for today that actually this Friday, so today, it's gonna be another package of Magento 2.3.0 beta version gonna be created, and since this week, Magento 2.3.0 will include MSI. So there would not be any necessity to specify it manually in the composer JSON file. It's gonna be distributed with Magento package. So actually, starting from this week, Magento MSI becomes core bundle extension. So we call it core bundle extension. So it's distributed along with Magento, composer package. And yeah, also let me share our Burndown chat. So currently, you can see our Burndown for milestone 2. So actually, you can see here all the issues and tickets which were fixed during this milestone and all the bugs. So actually, you can see here in the bottom of this list, you can see all the bugs created in the scope of regression, along with bugs which we had before. Currently, all the bugs we have are marked with the top 10 bugs, and all the bugs found in the regression marked additionally with regression milestone 2 label. And as soon as regression gonna finish, so currently we have just 155 scenarios, so it's about 33. Actually, that's exactly 1/3 of all the test cases need to be run. So we expect that we will finish the first cycle of regression on Tuesday, I believe. And since that, we will start working on this issue processing, and but nothing prevents guys from community to help us already now, because the issue already created. So if you are watching this demo, you can use this filter by regression milestone 2 and choose any bug which is not assigned to all the unassigned bug. You can take any, assign it to yourself, and start working on it. And yeah, so currently this is our burn down. Some of the tasks will be reprioritized because currently these are all issues we have in our backlog. Some of this issue would be postponed. So we will after the first cycle of regression, we will make a triage, and some bugs with the highest priority would be left for fixing in the scope of this milestone, and others would be postponed till the milestone 3. So this is actually our regression status for this week. And now I'm stop sharing my screen and giving a word to Ricardo, who will share his update.
Okay, thank you. So as you said before, I'm working on the inventory configuration, and well, actually yesterday we got a lot of red tests, and today I think we just got maybe 3-4 failing tests that I'm fixing. So hopefully for the end of the day, I will push again and check if we have all green. I think we just have to fix some additional statics tests. I don't know what is your policy about all the new rules that became active with 2.3 regarding all the doc
Uh,
types and so on.
Actually, because this new rule appeared just before the code
Yeah.
freeze, and taking into account that we have like a huge code base on MSI, currently we decided to skip all the inventory modules, and they are
Okay.
currently not validated with this test. So we introduce a technical debt issue in our backlog for milestone 3. So we will introduce all this PHP documentation which correspond with this static test, but currently this test is not applicable for inventory modules.
Okay, so we'll just focus on integration tests. And as I said before, hopefully for the end of the day, we'll have something working. I mean, at least from the tests point of view. Then, as you said before, I started working on an idea actually because I had a customer asking for basically the MSI, and he had a requirement that was a distance-based algorithm for source selection that I think it could be a very common requirement. So I decided to start testing something, and I will show you what is my idea. Of course, it's just an idea, and it is not still working because I just started yesterday and I didn't finish it. But the idea, of course, is to add a new class handling this new algorithm. And the main idea behind is that we are not using one single way to understand what is the distance between one source item and the destination address. But yesterday we have been talking with Igor about this, and the idea is to provide different ways. So you can, for example, provide one offline distance computation and maybe one online based on Google Map or whatever you like. So I decided to introduce something like a distance provider that you can select from your backend configuration. So you can choose between Google, an offline distance selector, and whatever. So basically the distance provider is something very, very simple that basically takes two arguments that are the source item, the source interface. So where is your warehouse and what is the address? And then it provides a distance in kilometer between them. And depending on this, basically we are sorting all the sources, and then we have the feature almost working. The only problem was that currently the inventory source selection is only based on the SKU and the quantity requested. So we have no information about the destination address. So I had to slightly modify what is the inventory request, but of course I will need your approval even to understand if I'm doing this correctly. So basically in the inventory request, I added an address request interface that it is not exactly connected to the address because I don't want to add a new dependency. It's just a DTO containing all the basic information. So the country, postcode, and whatever. And depending on this information that of course I have to provide while creating the inventory request, I can apply this algorithm. So I had to modify, where is the, this should be the controller, for example. This is the controller when you run the source selection page. So for example, I had to modify something here, adding the address. Then I find all the occurrences of the inventory request creation, and I modify it to accept the new address. And it should be working. I think I can have something, I mean, something very minimal for the next week. And currently I'm working with Google Map. In fact, as you can see, is the only one I started working. Well, as far as now is just a mock. So I need to implement all the codes, but I will start from this one. Then I will add the offline mechanism that will be probably based on some kind of public database we may find in the download, or maybe from some kind of input that the user can provide. So this is the idea behind. And I'm done.
Thank you, Ricardo. So I will share my screen now. So actually, it's pretty interesting, but I believe that we need to extend our inventory request interface.
Yeah, this is what I did actually.
Yeah, it's all data interfaces with extension attributes, and so that we can specify like shipment address here.
Yeah, I need to know, actually, I have to understand if we are already in an API level, so I cannot modify anymore the interface, so I have to use extension attribute, or if I can modify this interface because it's not yet public. Because if it is not public, maybe we can just add it.
But in any case, even for adding extension attribute, we have to add.
Yeah, sure.
So in any case, we need to modify the interface, and as soon as, while we did not release it yet, it's acceptable. And probably, and actually that was another task which I told you that we need to do before the release. So we need to review all the interfaces, and
my only concern is if the address is enough. I mean, if we have some very strange scenario, and I can assure you that most of the customer have a wild imagination. So maybe we should include, for example, the order interface, but I'm not sure about the dependency we can create between modules.
As for me, it's better to introduce here just extension attributes, because depending on the particular algorithm, any particular algorithm can require additional data to be transferred via the extension attribute. For example, because already now we have the priority-based algorithm, which actually no need any shipping data, so that it's not properly to get this as a mandatory part of the interface, because we already have an algorithm which does not use this data, and adding, for example, another algorithm like
because for example, I had a very similar issue with, for example, products with discount that can only leave from one source and not from another, because it was a scenario I had with one customer with Magento 1, and I think we can have something like this, a very strange scenario. So maybe yes, adding an extension attribute is the best option, because you do whatever you like.
Yeah. And actually, because from the interface design perspective, it's not good to have methods under the scope of one interface, which applicable in one business scenarios and not applicable in another one. So actually, this having different methods in the scope of one interface actually violates the idea of the cohesion between the interface methods. So this is usually could be considered kind of bad smell of the interface design, and this is usually says that method should be distributed in different interfaces or classes. That's why having something pretty generic like get extension attributes should be as the best, as the most appropriate solution in this particular case. Along with that, we can validate whether all our data interfaces whether all our data interfaces have get extension and set extension attribute method, because this is actually a gap in this particular interface, because I expected that we have this extension point. So the absence of the get extension attribute method is a gap in our extensibility. So this is a really good catch you made during your work on this additional algorithm. So we definitely need to fix this before we release MSI. Are there any other updates, questions, or whatever? Mark, maybe you have some questions to Ricardo.
No, I don't think so. But it's good to see even early prototype at this time. Excited to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. So probably that's all for today. We'll be waiting the official release of the second package of Magento 2.3.0, including the MSI. As soon as we will get this news, I will definitely share it with you guys. And but for now, thank you for your time, and see you in a week.
Thank you.